Hi students, in this session we are going to discuss the chapter atmosphere. You know which are the topic that we will be discussing in the chapter atmosphere. We will be mainly discussing the topic like composition and structure of the atmosphere. Then we will also discuss about the 5 important layers of the atmosphere. You know which are the 5 important layers of the atmosphere? That is troposphere. Troposphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. Just above troposphere we find stratosphere. Then comes ionosphere. Ionosphere is also known as mesosphere. This ionosphere layer is also known as mesosphere. And then comes exosphere. Okay, so we are going to discuss about all these important layers in the atmosphere. We will also discuss the topic like ozone layer in the stratosphere. Ozone layer is in the second layer of stratosphere, and ozone is going on depleting. Nowadays there is a depletion taking place of this ozone layer. So we will discuss the importance of ozone layer and the depletion of ozone layer and further its impact. Then we will also discuss about the major problem, that is global warming and its impact on earth. All these points we will be discussing in this session. Children, let us begin with the chapter atmosphere. What is atmosphere? The envelope of gas which surround the earth is called atmosphere. If you look around, everywhere you can see the atmosphere. Then how this atmosphere is existing on earth? The atmosphere is mainly existing on earth only because of the gravitational pull of the earth. Otherwise there would have no atmosphere existed on earth. The earth has got the gravitational pull, so that the gravity of the earth is keep holding all the gases on the earth. For that reason the atmosphere is acting as an envelope around the earth, and it is also protecting the earth from all the meteors and meteorites, and also ultraviolet rays and infrared rays from the sun. And it is also so this envelope of gas contains all the life supporting gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, etc. For it is only because of this existence of atmosphere the earth can sustain life on the earth. So now let us look into detail about the importance of atmosphere. The first important is that what atmosphere makes the earth a unique planet. How the atmosphere makes the earth a unique planet? Because it supplies oxygen to support life. You all know that the importance of oxygen. All the living being, including plants, animals, human being, we all use for the respiration oxygen. For respiratory purpose we all need oxygen. Then oxygen is also essential for combustion. Combustion means for burning any object in the atmosphere. Oxygen is very essential. Then another important gas is that carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide also support the plant life. Okay, for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is very essential. So without plant there is no life can exist on earth. Then the atmosphere also filters all the harmful ultraviolet and infrared rays. How? Because there is a ozone layer in the atmosphere. Okay, the earth has got 5 important layer. So all these important layers. So the troposphere is the lowest layer, and just above troposphere there comes stratosphere, and ozone layer is present in the stratosphere. So this ozone layer is protecting the earth from all the harmful rays like infrared and ultraviolet rays from the sun. And then what is the other importance is that what is the atmosphere? It acts as a blanket for the earth, and it prevents rapid escape of heat by terrestrial radiation. That means daytime the sun rays are falling on the earth. Sun rays falling on the earth. The earth is receiving during the daytime. The earth is receiving sun rays from the sun rays. Okay, so this is called insulation. This is called insulation. The sun solar radiation which are reaching on the earth, otherwise heat energy which are reaching on the earth from the sun during the daytime is called insolation. Now what happens is that, do you think this heat energy is retained by the earth? No, it never happens. Okay, so the heat energy which is reaching to the earth during the daytime, it happens during the daytime. Okay, daytime is not retained by the earth, but the earth is sending back the heat energy. The earth sends back the heat energy which is received from the sun during the daytime. When does the earth send it back? It sends back at night time, mainly at night time. It sends back the heat energy. This is called terrestrial radiation. This is called terrestrial radiation. Okay, so the heat energy which is sent back by the earth during the daytime is called terrestrial radiation. Clear? So so that what is that, heat energy is balanced. Otherwise during the daytime excess amount of heat energy, if it remains on the earth, what happen? Earth, the temperature will go very high, so the life cannot exist. But the heat energy which is received from the sun is sent back, radiated back to the space by the earth during the night time especially. So this is called terrestrial radiation, so that heat energy is balanced. So this is happening only because of the atmosphere. So the heat energy is sending back to the space by different layers of the atmosphere. Okay, that is why the life is possible. So this is the one point. Then another important point is that, what is that? The atmosphere helps in maintaining the temperature suitable for the life. The earth does not experience extreme of temperature due to the presence of atmosphere. So the atmosphere protects the earth from millions of meters and meteorites which fall towards the earth. Yes, you know, yes, there are. So you know that sun is the center of the earth. Sun is the center of the solar system, and all other planets are revolving around the sun. Okay, so similar way, just like planet and many broken pieces of planets and broken pieces of stars, even big huge rock pieces are also revolving around. They are also revolving around the earth and also the sun in this orbit. Okay, so sometimes what happens is that these can also get into the earth. Suppose you see the earth is here, and sometimes what happen, such kind of what is that, these broken pieces of planets, even stars, they also can get into the space. They can get into the space. Okay, but the earth atmosphere do not allow these broken pieces of planets, stars, or rock pieces, etc. They are called meteors and meteorites. Okay, so these meteors and meteorites are not able to get into the earth atmosphere. Earth atmosphere protect the earth from all these meteors and meteorites to reach into the atmosphere. If they reaches into the atmosphere, what will happen? If they fall on earth, they can cause a huge depression on earth. Okay, they can cause damage to the different part of the earth, but the earth atmosphere protect the earth from meteors and meteorites. Clear? Okay, the next point we have to discuss is that, yes, temperature difference within the atmosphere generate air circulation. So air, movement of the air is very important, isn't it? So if there is no movement of the air, you know that it can create what kind of problems. And also temperature is also regulated because of the movement of the air. So what is the temperature variation causes what is that, low pressure and high pressure. Okay, so wind always blow from the high pressure region to the low pressure region. So the movement of the wind is mainly due to the variation in pressure. Some places if it is high pressure, because now in India, over the Indian landmass, it is high pressure. Why? Because of the what is that, cold region. Because of the cold season there forms a high pressure. Okay, so low pressure when it forms when it is hot, high temperature there forms low pressure. Okay, so wind always blow from the high pressure to low pressure. So this kind of pressure variation is also causing on earth mainly due to the presence of atmosphere. Then what are the other important? So we have winds, rain and other weather phenomenon happens due to this variation in temperature. Then the lowest layer of the atmosphere provides suitable condition for water cycle, heat cycle, etc. So lowest layer of the atmosphere means we discussed that means the earth has got a 5 important layers like, okay. So the lowest layer of the atmosphere is called what? Troposphere. Okay, so the troposphere, all the important phenomenon, so like rain and cloud formation and all take place in the lowest layer of the atmosphere. So all the important weather phenomenon are taking place on the lowest layer of the atmosphere, that is troposphere. Okay, the next we discuss the atmosphere is colorless, tasteless, odorless, that you all know that. So we do not feel the presence of atmosphere unless there is a horizontal movement in the form of wind. So we feel the atmosphere only only due to the wind. So wind is the moving air, otherwise we never feel the atmosphere. Atmosphere is not as dense as land or water, but it has got weight. Atmosphere is dense, the density of the atmosphere is more at the lower layer of the atmosphere. It is at the lower layer of the atmosphere. You see this troposphere, we said the lowest layer of the atmosphere, all the high density, all the air is found in its thick form in the lowest layer of the atmosphere. So that the atmosphere has got a weight. Why? Because the air, there is a thickness of air in the atmosphere, especially in the lowest layer of the atmosphere. For that reason the atmosphere also has got weight. So as you go upward, the air become thinner. As ones move upward, what happen? Air become thinner. The thickest air is found at the lowest layer of the atmosphere. Which is the lowest layer of the atmosphere? Especially sea level. When you reach the sea level is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. So the maximum thickness or maximum density of the air found in the found above the sea level. So as one move upwards, what happen? The air become thin. These are all about this page. I hope this page is very clear to you all. Now we move to the next page, that is composition of atmosphere. So all the gases are found in different proportion in the atmosphere. Which are the important gases found in the atmosphere? When we discuss about the composition of the atmosphere, we have to mainly discuss about nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. So nitrogen is the most abundant gas which is found in the atmosphere. Why? Because nitrogen covers about 78% of the atmosphere. Then comes oxygen. Oxygen covers about 21% of the atmosphere. So other gases are all found in the small quantity in the atmosphere, including carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is only 0.03%. Then neon, ozone, hydrogen, helium, all these gases are found in the small proportion in the atmosphere. So other than these gases, we also find variable components. So what are variable components? Like water vapor, dust particles, smoke, salt, pollen grain. These are all called variable components because they vary in different place according to the condition. How? Because especially in Chandrapura, you see we have a thermal power station. So dust particle, because ashes are released in the atmosphere, so more dust particles. Suppose if you go to the coastal region, instead of dust particle you find water vapor there. Because of the water body, evaporation take place, so water vapor is found more in that place. So these water vapor, dust particles, smoke, salt and pollen grain are all variable component. They vary from place to place. So now we go in discuss in detail about the various components of the atmosphere, which are they? Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, Then the next page it is given particulate matters. Particulate matters means what? Other than all these gases and water vapor, we find what is that? Smoke, salt grain, pollen grain, dust particles, etc. in the atmosphere. Pollen grain, you know, they reaches from the flowers. Yellow color dust particle, no, which are found in the flowers, which help for the reproduction of the flowers of the plants, that is called pollen grain. So all these are the particulate matters which are suspended in the air. Okay, so these are also the part of atmosphere. So we discuss in detail about all these important gases, water vapor and the particulate matters when we discuss about the composition of the atmosphere. Okay, let's see now about the importance of oxygen in detail. Oxygen, you know, for the respiration, we all need, all the animals need respiration. All living being is essential for the so oxygen is necessary for respiration of all living organism. Okay, then it support combustion. Combustion means for burning any object, oxygen is very essential. So it combines easily with other elements, forming oxide. You know that iron oxide and all. Iron oxide, then what is that? Yeah. So different kind of oxides are formed with the combination of other components. Okay, the next is that nitrogen. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas found in the atmosphere, isn't it? Then this nitrogen is very essential for slow down the process of oxidation. Oxidation means oxygen mixing with other elements forms new compound is called oxidation. Suppose the oxidation process is very fast, what will happen? That can reduce the quantity of oxygen in the atmosphere. That is harmful for the living being, because we all need oxygen in the so oxygen should be there in the correct exact proportion in the atmosphere. So nitrogen is helping for the slow down of the oxidation. Then nitrogen combines with other elements to other compound, forms new compounds like nitrates. Nitrates are very essential for the growth of plants. You know that root plants, especially nitrates are formed. Then other than that, what is ammonia, nitric acid, then some fertilizers are also made out of nitrogen. So the nitrogen is very essential for the growth of plants and animals, even human being, etc. These are, nitrogen is one of the important nutrient in the human body, all that you know. And next is carbon dioxide. It is utilized by plant during the process of the production of organic matter. That you know, that means especially photosynthesis. Plants, they need carbon dioxide, and it is also the heavy gas which is found in the lowest layer of the atmosphere, which is the lowest layer, troposphere. And then for the terrestrial radiation, carbon dioxide is very essential. We discussed about the terrestrial radiation. Daytime the earth is receiving the solar rays or heat energy from the sun, but night time what happened? The earth is sending back the heat energy. This is called terrestrial radiation. But at the time of terrestrial radiation, full amount of heat energy is not allowed to escape. If the earth is sending back the full heat energy, what will happen? Earth will remain very cold at night, extremely cold, so the life cannot exist. But it will never happen. The earth is remained warm. The earth is kept warm during the night time. Why? Because of the presence of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. So this carbon dioxide, what is that? Sustains the heat energy. This carbon dioxide traps certain amount of heat energy and retain in the atmosphere. Because of that reason, earth remains warm at night because of the presence of carbon dioxide. Is that clear? Not only carbon dioxide, other than carbon dioxide, you know, water vapor is also stopping the heat energy. Okay, trapping the heat energy. Then other than water vapor, we discussed about particulate matters. Particulate matters means which are the particulate matters like pollen grain, dust particles, smoke, salt content, all these are trapping the heat energy. But carbon dioxide plays a major role in trapping the heat energy, so that it makes the earth warm. Is it clear? So that is the importance of carbon dioxide. Okay, the next we discuss is that water vapor. Water vapor, when we discuss, which are the points? It plays the most significant role in the atmosphere. Then it is a source of condensation, cloud, precipitation, etc. Yes, water vapor, what is that? During the daytime, due to the heat energy of the sun, what happens? The water in the water bodies, especially in the ocean, river and sea and other water bodies, what happen? Changes into water vapor. It changes into water vapor and reaches into the atmosphere. It changes into water vapor and reaches into the atmosphere. When it reaches to the certain altitude, what happen? It changes into cloud. Let us draw sun, little top here, sun. So this water vapor, when reaches into the certain altitude means certain height in the atmosphere, what happen? It changes into cloud, isn't it? Then again, what happen when the air cannot carry the cloud? What happen? This clouds changes, start pouring down the rain. This cloud changes into rain, and again these water reaches back to the sea. So during the evaporation, the water reaches into the atmosphere. Again the cloud forms, then the condensation take place. Condensation means what? It becomes very cool and the air carries the cloud, isn't it? Start floating this cloud in the atmosphere. When the air is not able to bear or carry, the cloud becomes so heavy for the air to carry. What happen? It start pouring down again in the form of rain, and this water again reaches into the water body back. So this is the process happening here. This is called water cycle. So this important phenomenon is taking place at the lowest layer of the atmosphere. Which is the lowest layer of the atmosphere? That is troposphere. In the next session, we will be discussing about the different layers of the atmosphere. Okay. So we continue reading here the points. Yes, the points are here. When we read, which are the points? Yes, like carbon dioxide, water vapor is capable of trapping the heat and radiated by the earth and keeps the lower layers of the atmosphere warm. This also we discuss. Water vapor is also trapping the heat energy from the sun and makes the atmosphere warm. And next we have to discuss about particulate matters. And particulate matters, when we discuss, you can see here, the dust, smoke, salt grain, pollen grain, etc. scatter polar radiation causing red and orange color. You know that in the morning, when there is a sunrise, you see the red and orange color mixed in the morning. You will find this kind of, red and orange color. Red and orange color only in the morning you see. The sun rays, if you look at, you find the red and orange color. How this red and orange color? Because when the sun rays, they scatter into these particulate matters. Which are the particulate matter? Dust, smoke, salt grain, pollen grain, etc. And they appear into orange and red color. Okay, then they serve as condensation nuclei. How these particulate matters, they serve as the condensation nuclei? You know that the water vapor from the water bodies reaches into the sky. Okay, they reaches into the sky. Let me rub it off, sun. Okay, this reaches into the sky. So like this, they reaches into the sky. Then what happens is that dust particles are there. Okay, dust particles are there, pollen grains are there, all these are there. So these water vapor, they form around, isn't it? Because they need some object to settle down. So these water vapor or moisture settle around this around this dust particles, smoke or pollen grains, whatever it is, and there forms a water droplets. Understood? So this dust particle, pollen grain, etc., they act as a condensation nuclei. That means they act as a sender or a condensation nuclei. Is that clear? So now we continue the point reading. Yes, here. What is that? The dust, smoke, salt, pollen grains, etc. scatter solar radiation. The next is that they serve as a condensation nuclei. The moisture present in the atmosphere get condensed around them. So the next point is that dust particles are so fine that they can float in the air and play an important role in the weather phenomenon. They also absorb terrestrial radiation and keep the lowest layer warm. This point we discussed, how they absorb the heat energy from the sun and make the lowest layer warm. Children, I am winding up the topic here. In the next session, we will discuss about the structure of the atmosphere. In the structure of the atmosphere, we will be discussing about the 5 important layers of the